Hello, this is Mama Jess, everything you wish your mother told you. Moving on to rites of passage number 3. So again, the rites of passage are the steps that we have to pass through to become an elder in a community, in a society, in a nation at large that is worthy to be listened to. And the nature of an elder is that they carry wisdom through experience. It is not simply an opinion. It is not something that they have read in a book. It's not something that they learned in a college course in 3 months. It's not the Cliff Notes. It is the wisdom acquired through much suffering and pain and sacrifice, and learning how real nature operates. Because there is one truth, there is one absolute truth. The more you are subject to nature, if you are farming in any way, if you are subject to the weather, it is unforgiving. You can have your opinions and say, no, I don't like that, or I don't feel like that. It's like, it's going to get too cold out here and you're going to have to put a jacket on. And you can say, well, I don't feel like it. I want to wear whatever I want. It's like, okay, well, you're going to die. And that's how it goes. So when we're dealing with moral nature and human nature, you can think that you have freedoms to do whatever you want, but you will learn in time it doesn't work that way. So that's what an elder is. An elder is someone who has lived enough life to know how things work, and they're worthy to be listened to. Unfortunately, in the United States, we have a lot of people who are older, but they have never passed through any rites of passage. They have lived in the comfort and convenience of American consumerism, and they've never had to be challenged or really grow in any way, because they can divorce if they don't like the relationship, and they can church hop if they don't like the church, and they can continually avoid growing up. Distraction after distraction, video game after video game, Hollywood motion picture after their Hollywood motion picture. And that's what we're up against. So we are in a country lacking elders. I have talked with other people. One young girl, she just said, yeah, there are no elders in our country. Where do we go for wisdom or for help? Or how do we live? How do we grow? So this is an epidemic in our country, is the old baby epidemic. And as I have gleaned wisdom from very wise, sound, healthy people, what I have found in their life is that there is a loneliness they carry. That you have to go through the initial painful severing from the crowd, from the consumer crowds, from friends that you watched movies with, or you went to sporting events. Whatever it is that was your community, I can guarantee that you will have to leave those environments, at least in thought and feeling. We can't always leave family. We're not always going to leave neighbors because there's a proximity that won't allow it. But you will have to leave in heart and in thought, for sure. So I want to prepare you to accept this difficult part of rites of passage, that you will go through very lonely seasons. You will have days and nights that you panic for want of another human being who understands you. But this passage is absolutely necessary to grow, to get out of the weed patches that you have been in, and out of whatever kind of toxic sludge, whatever toxic soil you have been planted in your youth. You will have to uproot and go find healthy soil. You will have to find a healthy environment. And I wish that I could say that you will just have to find another community, but there are very few people that are going the way of truth and wisdom through experience because it requires too much persecution, too much rejection, being misunderstood, being mocked, being outcasted and disenfranchised. And it becomes a great gift to have one or two like-minded people that you find at the long journey, after a long journey of 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. That if you have one or two friends, if you have a life companion, someone you have met who's like-minded, they become extremely precious to you. You're no longer of the mind of easily deleting friends or canceling people. You know that these very special people that you have found over many years, and the, having to hike through barren land and tundra and the scorching desert lands of loneliness and solitude, in your quest for truth and your quest for real freedom. You know how incredibly precious these people are. And you do come to a point when you realize you'd be willing to lay your life down for them because you love them that much and you need them that much. And I'm thinking about a friend right now I have. It's not codependency. You just know that you really can't, you don't feel that you can live without them. Because it's a wonderful gift to rest your mind in the presence of someone who understands you and who gets it and who agrees. So be prepared. Be prepared for a lot of loneliness. My hope is that you will begin to find people online, just a few personalities that are feeding your soul and giving you truth and bringing you sanity. And after you spend time listening to them, you're jazzed about your own life and you want to go out and do something to get yourself in reality and in a greater skill set and in a greater sense of competence and confidence that you're capable of handling life and solving problems and being useful to other people. Because if you're listening to someone and you come away feeling bad about yourself, and then I need to be like them, rather than more like yourself, pursuing God who knows you and the God who made you and your truest self, you have to be careful not to listen to a lot of these people. If you come away feeling like, oh, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not wealthy enough, I need to have this and that and the other, be careful. Because the truth will always set you free. It will encourage you to tackle the difficult things and set you into a freedom. Sometimes truth blows your mind and devastates you first. It offends you so wildly you can't believe it. But ultimately, its end result is freedom. And in that loneliness, there'll be a lot of quiet, time to think and reflect. You might find yourself drawn to going outside in nature and just stare at the trees and wonder at the color of the sky and the breeze through the grass, the sound the wind makes through the pines. Like your mind is going to be awakening to the natural world, and you will be decompressing and relaxing and finding a calm because you're no longer going to be harassed by every person, place, and thing and commercial and new trend and new outfit and all of the pressures of the consumer culture to be this and that and the other. Because the ultimate goal is to know God and know yourself and to learn how to bind together with other human beings in love and support one another and reduce the amount of suffering in this life by bringing blessing, bringing joy, providing a peaceful place for someone to come and rest. So be prepared to feel almost embarrassed sometimes that you have so few friends. But at least now the people in your life, it will be based on authenticity and not just hoarding friends to feel like you're somebody. And you will realize that if you are online, you won't always be seeking out the person who has 10 million subscribers. and a video that has 10 million views, because you'll begin to see that vultures are attracted to carcasses. Many of them will be flying in the sky looking for a meal. So a lot of what is out there that looks so popular and cool, they're just dead carcasses, and there's nothing really of substance there. You're not going to find life. You're not going to find truth and wisdom. It's just a bunch of foolishness. It's a bunch of very foolish, immature people. So be open to finding the little Yoda Jedis in the forest that are all alone tinkering around in a dusty little workshop. They have no one around them. But don't underestimate that they might have all of the wisdom. They might have the lost arts of love and true love and conversation and how to live well. Not live a big money-making American consumer dream, because that was never the real American dream. That is just how people who love money are scheming to manipulate you to believe that. The real American dream and the pursuit of happiness was really about the pursuit of virtue. It's always about the pursuit of morality and goodness and truth and God. And if you have the opportunity to build your life through working hard and generating an honest wage and having a little bit of land, it's a great gift to have that sense of autonomy and self-government and freedom from others. And a little bit of solitude from the masses and the craziness that is therein. So rites of passage number 3, be prepared to be alone. Be prepared to feel loneliness. Be prepared to even panic some days and nights as you are growing into a place of developing a stronger relationship with God and yourself. And always being hopeful and prayerful that you will come into contact and start bumping shoulders with people who are traversing the same barren land that you are in quest of, in pursuit of real life. And you might look to your right and left and realize, like, wow, I think I might have made a friend here. And it will be very real and authentic and long-lasting. It will not be another transient, immature, selfish relationship where both parties are using each other. So don't be afraid of that loneliness, and know that the greatest, if you begin to study some of the greatest personalities that have ever passed through this life, there was always an element of loneliness that they carried. And even if they were in positions of leadership, national leadership, they still carried the loneliness of being a pioneer, of having to traverse uncharted territory and having to do things that others were too afraid to do. So in that loneliness, you are being prepared to be a leader. And leaders are always alone, at least in their thoughts and in their burdens that they carry, that mantle, it's called, of seeing things and knowing things that other people have not seen yet, and other people don't even want to see. So don't be scared of it, and don't allow it to define your worth. Because in our culture, it absolutely is true that we define our worth based on how many subscribers and views you have on your online format, venue, whatever they're called. So really, you want to have one subscriber ultimately, and that will be God. And maybe two, which will be God and your truest self, that you're seeking to be authentic with that person that God made you to be. That if you know you can walk in a pure conscience and the integrity of your heart and your values, and you know that you said and you did the right thing, then it doesn't matter if the whole world walks away from you and mocks you. You can stand in knowing that you did what was true and right and good. And if God is approving of you, then you know in that solitude with God, you ultimately have the greatest audience. And I always love the story about Jesus, that even all of his disciples said, we'll never leave you. But in the end, he had to be abandoned in his greatest time of need. So these are the rites of passage. That we hear the stories of Jesus and the prophets and the other saints that they always had to walk through that very painful rites of passage of being alone, of being abandoned, of being rejected and mocked, and having to stand alone and even maybe doubt if they were doing the right thing. So you need these years of solitude to develop your skill set, to gain your sanity, to gain your problem-solving skills, and to gain such a strong confidence in who you are and what you believe and who God is, that you will be able to stand in the heat of the day when everyone else is cowardly and they slink away from the trouble and the battle, but you will stand strong. All right. I believe in you. So don't be scared of that solitude and those lonely days and nights, because you're growing. You're growing up and out of the mass psychosis, the mob that is a very dangerous place to be. All right, I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.